Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityaṁ Bhagavata-sevayā Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Durlabho Manusho Dehu Dehinam Shana Bhangurai Tatrapi Durlabam Manye Vaikuntha Priya Darshanam Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Ram Hare Hare Vasudeva Paraveda Vasudeva Paramakha Vasudeva Parayoga Vasudeva Parakriya Vasudevam Param Jnanam Vasudeva Param Tapa Vasudeva Paro Dharmo Vasudeva Param Gatihi Adorama Ritva Mriga Kanchanam Vedehi Haranam Chatayumarnam Sugriva Sambhashanam Bali Nigrahanam Samudrataranam Lankapuri Dahanam Paschadaravana Kumbhakarna Haranam Netadhi Ramayanam Shri Ramchandra Bhagwan ki jai Raghupati Raghav Siyapati Ramachandra ki jai Grantraj Bhagavatam Puran ki jai Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namah. Hare Krishna, dear worshipable devotees, thank you so much for joining. So we are reading Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 10. This is the beautiful chapter entitled The Beautiful Pastimes of Sri Râmacandra. We read till text number 7 so far. So let's read the next verse, text number 8. Yasatyapasha parivita pitrunidesham Strenyasya chapi shirasa jagre sabharyaha Rajyam shriyam pranayha suhrido nivasam Tyaktva yayau vanau asun iva mukta sangaha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Carrying out the order of his father, who was bound by a promise to his wife, Lord Râmacandra left behind his kingdom, opulence, friends and well-wishers, residents and everything else, just as a liberated soul gives up his life and went to the forest with Sita. Purport. Maharaj Dashrath had 3 wives. One of them, Kekai, served him very pleasingly, and he therefore wanted to give her a benediction. Kekai, however, said that she would ask for the benediction when it was necessary. At the time of coronation of Prince Râmacandra, Kekai requested her husband to enthrone her son Bharat and send Râmacandra to the forest. Maharaj Dashrath, being bound by his promise, ordered Râmacandra to go to the forest according to the dictation of his beloved. And the Lord, as an obedient son, accepted the order immediately. He left everything without hesitation, just as a liberated soul or great yogi gives up his life without material attraction. Hare Krishna. So again shows that the Lord is epitome of renunciation. Of the 6 Aishwaryas is supremely renounced. Just think about if we must have been in this situation. Let's say our manager says to us that tomorrow you are such a nice employee. You are doing this. Tomorrow I'll make you the general manager. The CEO of the company says like that. Okay, tomorrow I'll make you the general manager, and then you will have hundreds of people working for you. And then yes, person is excited. Wow, yeah, that's really awesome. Very good, very good. And then next day he comes, the CEO comes and then says, well, actually you're fired. You go out of this place. That's exactly what happened pretty much, right? he was about to be coronated as the king, right? The chief, king means head in one way, but from the head he became just a wanderer, right? But he was not at all troubled, or because he was not at all attached. Lord is supremely renounced. He does not need anything. We need to give him our whatever we have or whatever we claim ours to be ours for his pleasure. The Lord is Atmaram. Lord is self-satisfied. He is Swarat. He doesn't need. And same with pure devotees. Like a liberated person is not attached. He's Brahmabhuta Prasannatma. And it's mentioned that when the Lord came out of the chamber where the Kekai and Dashrath were present, when the Lord he came out, his face was 1,000 times more beautiful and effulgent, right? So this is the beauty of Lord Ram. To fulfill the order of the Father, willing to do anything. He didn't say, why me? What wrong I did? Why are you doing this to me? I'm a good son. No. Father said, so be it. So Guru said, so be it. So a lot of lessons are there. All these pastimes are quite deep, but these are some small comments. And Mata Sita also went. She was not told. So we see in this small verse, ideal son's example, ideal wife. In the absence of Ram, Ayodhya is forest. That's what Sita Mata told. And in the presence of Ram, forest is Ayodhya. And so were actually every citizen. They all actually went along with Lord Ram. Later, Lord Ram tricked them and told Sumantra so that they could not follow anymore. But the point is, Lakshmana also accompanied because they had so much love for Lord Ram. They were not attached to the pleasures of the Ayodhya either. Although Sita Mata had never seen forest. But a lot of lessons are there in this pastime. Ideal wife, ideal husband, ideal brother. Ramayana is full of these. Okay, let's see the next one. Text number 9. Anyone wants to read? Next one.
I can read Prabhuji.
Yes, please.
Activity Dhanur Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, text 9. Rakshasa Shoshur Bakrato Rupam Ashuddha Buddhes Tasya Kharo Trishira Dushna Mukhayo Bandhun Jagne Chaturdasha Shasram Apar Anya Kodando Pani Ato Mana Ubasho Krishram. Translation by His Divine Grace as Bhaktivinoda Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. While wandering in the forest where he accepted a life of hardship, carrying his invincible bow and arrows in his hand, Lord Râmacandra deformed Ravana's sister, who was polluted with lusty desires, by cutting off her nose and ears. He also killed her 14,000 Rakshasa friends, headed by Kha, Trishira, and Dushana. Back to Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So Lord Ram's bow's name is mentioned here. At multiple other places we have mentioned. Kodanda is the name of the bow. The Shankha is also named Panchajanya. We read that in the other chapter also. I'm not able to recall where we read recently. We read, right? The bow, the arrows, the quiver. Recently, maybe in Canto 8, we read when the Lord appears. his shield's name was also there. Getting the chapter which we read, it's in Canto 8.
Yeah, I have this Prabhuji. Disc Sudarshana, bow, Sharanga, conceal Panchajanna, club, Komodaki, sword, Vidyadhara, quivers, Akshay, Ashakkhaya. And
Yes.
shield has hundreds of moon-like spots.
Very nice, bro. It's very nice. Do you remember the chapter?
Sorry, Prabhuji.
It's in Canto 8, when the Lord is appearing at, he comes at multiple places. But
Lord Vamandeva appeared. I think around
Vaman-
that time.
Oh, I see. Nice. Thank you, Mataji. So, yeah, so Kodanda, the bow. Now, and Kar and Dushana were put by Ravana. They were his brothers, servants. So Lord Ram killed 14,000 Rakshasas who were troubling the Vishwamitra. Actually, this is after the exile. But earlier he killed the Rakshasas, Maricha, etc. Actually, who used to trouble at that time. They were also Ravana's party only. Used to throw urine and stool in Vishwamitra's yagya. Therefore, Vishwamitra had come. But now this one is the different set of Rakshasas, where this sister, what was the name? Shurpanakha was trying to get Lord Ram and basically destroy Mata Sita. So as Gauranga Prabhu was mentioning at one point, Ravana wanted Sita without Rama. Shurpanakha wanted Rama without Sita. And both had one outcome, basically the end. So trying to separate the Lord and his energy will lead to destruction. We should be like Hanuman. We should be like Vibhishana, trying to unite the energy and the energetic. Mata Sita and Hanuman, never keeping them separate. A devotee doesn't like to see them separate. A devotee wants to unite them, like Hanuman as a messenger came. Same with Vibhishana, Sugriva, etc. Okay, so let's read the next one. Text number 10. Anyone wants to read? Yes, Shita Mataji. Yeah, please.
Hare Kṛṣṇa devotees, Dandavat Pranam. Sita Katha Shravana Dipita Rechayana Shrishtam Vilokya Nrimate Dasha Kandharena Jagane Adbhutena Vapusha Shrammato Apakrishato Maricha Mashu Vishikena Yatha Kamugraha. Translation. O King Parikshit, when Ravana, who had 10 heads on his shoulders, heard about the beautiful and attractive features of Sita, his mind was agitated by lusty desires, and he went to kidnap her. To distract Lord Râmacandra from his ashram, Ravana sent Maricha in the form of a golden deer, and when Lord Râmacandra saw that wonderful deer, he left his residence and followed it and finally killed it with a sharp arrow, just as Lord Shiva killed Daksha. Hare Kṛṣṇa. Back to you, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Mataji. So it's an interesting point here. When Shurpanakha's nose and ears were cut, as we read in the last verse, her nose and ear were kind of cut. So she went back and narrated about the beauty of Mata Sita to Ravana. Sita Katha Shravana. So Ravana was doing Katha Shravan of Sita, who is Bhagavan. But what happened? His lusty desires within the mind were agitated and created. It's an important point that he was hearing about Mata Sita, but with the vision of lust. No. Hearing Krishna Katha, Ram Katha, Śrīmati. So therefore, some people artificially just want to hear Rasa Leela, without understanding the glories of Sri Radharani, without understanding the glories of Krishna, who is the Supreme Lord. So it's a nice point here that will only lead to agitation, and lusty desires will increase. Without hearing, without proper purification, if we just jump to some esoteric pastime, Krishna stealing the clothes of the gopis or doing Rasa Leela, etc., without trying to understand who is this Krishna, who are these gopis, who are these, the topmost of the gopi Radharani, then it will only lead to agitation and lusty desires. So his mind was agitated, and then he asked Maricha. Maricha was already doing tapa, he's just chanting the name of Ram, because while Maricha used to trouble Vishwamitra by throwing urine and stool and pus in the yajna, so Lord Ram actually threw him 800 yojanas away, and then he landed in a place he was doing tapa, and that place is, this word Mauritius actually comes from the word Marich only. So interesting. And I think you may have this Thailand. So Ramayana is quite famous. In Thailand, the capital was Ayutthaya, basically Ayodhya. The kings were Ram 1, Ram 2, Ram 3, up till Ram 10. And now even you go to Bali, you go to there are islands, there are so many connections. So this Ramayana culture was there throughout the world actually. Love and Kush in Ethonia, or in European part of the world is a country, or Ethonia, or
Africa.
Huh?
Africa, Kushite.
Kushite, right?
Africa.
Divided the part in the world in two parts, Lava and Kusha, and their generations continued. So the point is that yes, the whole world was familiar with this. It's not just was famous in India or current India. So Marish took a form of a deer. He said, better, I die in the hands of Lord Ram rather than dying in the hands of the lusty Ravana. So Hitva Mriga Kanchanam, Lord Ram killed this, and we all know the story, so I'm not going in detail. So let's read there's a nice purport by Śrī Vaishnava Acharyas. The golden deer is equivalent to allurements. The allurements will take us away from the Supreme Lord. So Mata Sita is she's the Supreme Bhagwan, but she's kind of representing a human being. When the human being is attached to the golden deer, it could be golden. Say, I'm not attached to deer. It could be something else. Our deer could be something else. For some, it could be wealth. For some, it could be beauty. For some, it could be power. For some, it could be some other form of material enjoyment. The deers could be different, but unnecessary enjoyment to materialistic things or allurement will take us away from Lord Ram. So let's see what happens further. Text 11. Yes, Sudhir Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna devotees, Dandat Pranam, all goes to Srila Prabhupada, text number 11. Raksho adhe mena varkvad vipine asamksam vaidehi raja duhitrya apyapityam bhratravane karpan navat priyaya vyukta sthir sanganam gatim iti pratayan chara. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. When Râmacandra entered into the forest and Lakshmana was also absent, the worst of Rakshasas, Ravana, kidnapped Sita Devi, the daughter of King Vaideha, just as a tiger seizes unprotected sheep when the shepherd is absent. Then Lord Râmacandra wandered in the forest with his brother Lakshmana, as if very much distressed due to separation from his wife. Thus, he showed by his personal example the condition of a person attached to women. Perfect. In this verse, the words Strir Sanginam Gatim Iti indicate that the condition of a person attached to woman was shown by the Lord himself, according to the moral instructions. Gre Narim Vivrijyate. When one goes on a tour, one should not bring his wife. Formerly, men used to travel without conveyances, but still, as far as possible, when one leaves home, one should not take his wife with him, especially if one is in such a condition as Lord Râmacandra, when banished by the order of his father. Whether in the forest or at home, if one is attached to woman, this attachment is always troublesome, as shown by the Supreme Personality of Godhead by his personal example. Of course, this is material side of Strir Sangi. But the situation of Lord Râmacandra is spiritual, for he does not belong to this material world. Narayano paro avyaktat. Narayana is beyond the material creation because he is the creator of the material world. He is not subject to the conditions of material world. The separation of Lord Râmacandra from Sita is spiritually understood as Vipralamba, which is an activity of the Hladini potency of Supreme Personality of Godhead belonging to the Sringara Rasa, the mellow of the conjugal love in the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, the Supreme Personality of Godhead has all the dealings of love, displaying symptoms called Sattvika, Sanchari, Vilapa, Murcha, and Unmeda. Thus, when Lord Râmacandra was separated from Sita, all these spiritual symptoms were manifested. The Lord is neither impersonal nor impotent. Rather, he is Satchitananda Vigraha, the eternal form, knowledge, and bliss. Thus, he has all symptoms of spiritual bliss. Feeling separation from one's beloved is also an item of spiritual bliss. As explained by Srila Swarupa Damodar Goswami, Radha Krishna Pranaya Viktir Haladini Shakti. The dealings of the love between Radha and Krishna are displayed as the pleasure potency of the Lord. The Lord is the original source of all pleasure, the reservoir of all pleasure. Lord Râmacandra therefore manifested the truth both spiritually and materially. Materially, thus, who are attached to woman suffer, but spiritually, when there are feelings of separation between the Lord and his pleasure potency, the spiritual bliss of Lord increases. This is further explained in Bhagavad Gita 9:11. So, Prabhuji, you want somebody else to continue?
Thank you, Prabhu. Anyone else wants to read? It's a longer purport. Yes, Moksha Mataji, you want to read?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Hare Krishna devotees, and Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. As further explained in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, verse 11, Avajanati mamura manusham tanumashritam param bhavam ajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. One who does not know the spiritual potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead thinks the Lord to be an ordinary human being. But the Lord's mind, intelligence, and senses can never be affected by material conditions. This fact is further explained in Skand Puran, quoted by Madhavacharya. Nitya Purana Sukha Jnana Swarupo Sao Yato Vibhu अतोऽस्य राम इति आख्या तस्य दुःखं कुतो नवपि तथापि लोकशिक्षार्थम् अध उध दुःख विराट वित्रत् अत्र हितं लोकदृष्ट्या अत्रं लोकदृष्ट्या सत्यम् असित स्मरणम् इव ज्ञापरथनं पुनर्नित्या सम्बन्ध स्वमतः श्रिता अयोध्या विनिरक्षन् सर्वलोकस्य चेवर प्रकृत्यस्यं तु श्रियश्रित्यं जगमन्दिर अवायुः नक्षस नक्षत्रमास गणितं त्रयोदश सहस्रकं ब्रह्मलोकस्मरणं स्मरं चक्रे स्मतं कृषिमण्डलं रामो रामो राम इति सर्वेषाम् अभवत् तदा सार्वोर्माम्यो लोको यदा रामस्तव अपालयत्. It was actually impossible for Ravana to take away Sita. The form of Sita taken by Ravana was the illusory representation of Mother Sita, Maya Sita. When Sita was further tested in fire, this Maya Sita was burnt and the real Sita came out of the fire. The further understanding to be derived from this example is that a woman, however she may be in material world, must be given uh, Prabhuji, must be given protection, for as soon as she is unprotected, she will be exploited by the Rakshasas like Ravana. Here the words Videha Raja Dudhari indicate that before Mother Sita was married, was married to Lord Ramchandra, she was protected by her father Videha Raja, and when she was married, she was protected by her husband. Therefore, the conclusion is that the woman should always be protected. According to Vedic rule, there is no scope for a woman being independent, assumption, for a woman cannot protect herself independently. So here Srila Prabhupada is explaining us that we should that the ladies or the females should always be first protected under the uh, guidance or in the protection of their father, and then in the protection of their husband, and then in the protection of their son. It is so because it is like today's world is uh, running behind feminism kind of thing. So it is not that it is the suppression of women and women cannot act independently. This is because uh, women are meant for producing children and making them Krishna conscious so that the world can become Krishna conscious. So they play a very important role in the society, and as it is always said that one can wear a gold ring or golden ornaments and go outside, but he always keeps the diamonds in the lockers. So in the same way, it is feminism only that women are protected because because Vedas or Shastras know that the women are more important as they can make the society Krishna conscious. So here Srila Prabhupada is telling us that the people who are uh, or it is written in Bhagavad Gita chapter 9 verse 11 that the people who are of less intelligence will never be able to understand Krishna and activities of Krishna, or the realizations of the Shastras. But the people who are devoted and have gained the mercy, only they'll be able to understand. So Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you so much, Sri Prabhu and Lakshmataji, for reading this nice verse. So we are trying to learn the prayers of Queen Kunti. Queen Kunti has a very nice verse, the second verse of her prayer. Maya Javanika Channam. The curtain of Maya covers so that the Lord in his pastime cannot be seen. Agya dhokshajam avyayam, cannot be perceived by our direct senses. Na lakshya se mooda drisha, nato natya dharo yatha. Like an actor, like someone could be acting on a stage like Hiranyakashipu or Nrsimhadev, but it's not that they are in reality, they could be friends in real life, but they could be acting like enemies on the stage. So a less intelligent person would not recognize it. Well, maybe they're enemies, maybe they're fighting, killing each other. But a person who really knows that, oh, he's my friend, both of them are my friends actually. So the point is that Lord Ram is seemingly acting, is showing the role of a person who is so attached to his wife. Oh, where is my wife? He's asking the trees, do you know where did Sita go? In all these 5 symptoms, vilapa, lamentation. Oh, where did Sita crying? Where did Sita go? Asking the birds, have you seen Sita? I don't know, where is Sita? Madness, unmada. But they're all transcendental. They are not material emotions. Because the Lord is not covered by material energy. The Lord is the master of all energy. But the point is, he's playing the role of a human being or acting in the guise of a human being, but he is a transcendental to all these things. Even Mata Parvati was confused. And then we know the story that she comes and dresses as in the form of Sita and say, well, I'm here. Where are you searching for? I'm here. And Lord Ram is still, Sita, where are you? The trees, have you seen Sita? Crying and displaying different emotions, Ashtasatvika Vikara, special emotions, Vipralamba, by the activity of Ladini potency, the pleasure potency. Vipralamba is also actually Shringar Rasa, right? The Vipralamba and Sambhoga, it enhances the union, actually. So it's a transcendental rasa. So a perverted reflection of this we can see when the child, sees the parents. Maybe we all studied in college, and when we used to go back, our mothers would be very eager to see us. But my other brother, who was right there at that time, he would have less, advantage because I'm coming after like 1 year. So then I'll get nice treatment, nice prasadam, nice everything, And the brother is there. The other brother was always there. He'll not get such nice treatment. It's a very perverted reflection, but so the Vipralamba enhances the Sambhoga. It's a transcendental rasa. We see that the perverted reflection of that in this world also. But the Lord is not like an ordinary husband attached to wife. But the Lord is showing like that. So coming back to Mata Parvati's story, and then the Lord actually showed the Ram Darbar, his eternal position, Lord Ram, and as mentioned here by Madhvacharya, no one can touch. Ravana cannot touch Sita. It was the Maya Sita. All he was running after was Maya Sita. He kind of gave up his life, his kingdom, his everything, just for illusion. Maya means one which is not. It was not the real Sita. It's an interesting lesson that we are also running after Maya. Like Ravana running after Maya, gave up his entire life and everything, his family, his children, everything, they were killed because of chasing for Maya. Maya Sita. That was the root cause of their destruction, right? So those who are attached to Maya, it is not real thing, it is not the real thing, but life goes in vain. Manushya janama paya Radha Krishna na bhajiya janiya shunya vishay khaiya. Just serving the senses, the life, time flies. Whether we are 30 years or 50 years or 70 years or whatever time we have left, it will fly very fast. So we should not just chase for Maya, rather we should chase for the real Sita, real Sita Ram, real service to Lord Ram and Mata Sita, Radha Shyam Sundar. That is the real thing, not the energy, the illusory energy. So yeah. Any other comments anyone has? Additions? So now we see, now Ravana has kidnapped Mata Sita, like a wolf kidnaps. So let's see what happens further. Anyone else wants to read? Raman Prabhu, want to read? Masuti Mataji? Canto Prabhu?
Hare Kṛṣṇa Prabhuji, I'm ready.
I can read the next one, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Dandavat pranam everyone.
Prabhu, I can try reading. I can read. Dagdhavat mat kratya mahanam kabandha sukhayam vidyaya kafi bhir dhyayat gratim tat buddhavat valini hate pala Vagendra Senior Velam Agat Sa Manujo Jo Bhavacharina Graha. Yeah, Prabhuji, yeah, I need to practice. Lord Râmacandra, whose lotus feet are worshipped by Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, had assumed the form of a human being. Thus, he performed the funeral ceremony of Jatayu, who was killed by Ravana. The Lord then killed the demon named Kabandha, and then making friends with the monkey chiefs, killing Vali, and arranging for the deliverance of Mother Sita, he went to the beach of the ocean. Purport by His Divine Grace, the A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, all glories. When Ravana kidnapped Sita, he was obstructed on the way by Jatayu, large bird. By the powerful Ravana defeated Jatayu in the fight, cut his wings. When Râmacandra was searching for Sita, he found Jatayu almost dead and was informed that Sita has been carried off by Ravana. When Jatayu died, Lord Râmacandra did the duty of a son by performing the funeral ceremony. And then he made friends with the monkeys to deliver Sita Devi. Hari Bol, Hare Kṛṣṇa. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. All these pastimes are shared in very brief here. But an important point to note here actually is Lord Ram whose feet are worshipped by Brahma and Shiva. Very, very nice point to kind of contemplate, that Shivji and Brahmaji are also worshipping whom? Bhava Archita Angri. Nama Pankaj Nabhaya, Nama Pankaj Angri. The soles of the lotus feet. So, Aja is like, Ja means born. Aja is like kind of, was not born by like material parents, is born from the lotus navel. So it's referred to as Aja. Bhava is the husband of Bhavani, is Lord Shiva. Bhavani Bhartu. So Aja, Bhava, Archita Angri. They are also worshipping whom? Lord Ram's lotus feet. Who? Manujaha, who has appeared in the human-like, body or human-like form. He's not an ordinary human being. Now, there's no one who has not heard the story of Jatayu, so many lessons, and practically we can talk for an hour about that story. But the lesson there is that, in bhakti there is no failure. Jatayu, in external calculations, may be failure according to the mundane world. But in the eyes of Lord Ram, he was a great success. Lord Ram did his personally did his final rites. Dashrath Maharaj did not get that fortune so that his final rites were actually, when he died, none of his sons were present. Sometimes people say, well, my son will do the final rites and all that. Even Dashrath Maharaj is sharing, even having 4 glorious sons, Vasudev, Sankarsana, Pradyumna, when he died, none of them were present. Right? On the contrary, Jatayu was a bird, a vulture, but Lord Ram did his final rites. So, why? Because he gave his everything to protect Mata Sita. He knew he would not be able to win over Ravana. He knew his strength is not comparable to Ravana. From mundane perspective, his fighting from Ravana was illogical and irrational. But in bhakti, he didn't see with the lens of material vision. He see with the lens of bhakti. I will do my best. So, and then the Lord killed Kabandha. Kabandha was a demigod who was very proud of his beauty. So his face was in his belly. He got a curse by a rishi that his face turned to his belly. He has very long arms. And then Lord Ram Lakshman killed him. So the lesson is that if we are proud of our beauty or anything, pride leads to fall down. So, and he used to basically taunt others. One rishi, that, oh, I'm beautiful, you are ugly. Okay, you think so? Rishi gave him a curse and he became the most ugliest. So one should be always humble. Whatever Krishna may have blessed us with, whether it's beauty, whether it's wealth, whether it's skill, whether it's anything, it's not ours. It's there with us for a short time. It will be taken after some time. In the meantime, Krishna has given us as a trustee, we should use it to the best of our abilities in his service. Then making friends with Vali Nigrahanam, Sugriva Sambhashanam. First friends with, Sugriva, Vali Nigraham, killing Vali. We have discussed this story multiple times. And and then searching for Mata Sita. They started their search. Let's see. 6:13. Yeah, Bhaswati Mataji, you were reading, sorry.
Hare Kṛṣṇa, everyone. Text 13. Yadrusa vivrama vibratya katakso pato sambranta nakramakaro bhayagirna ghoshaha sindhu Sirasi Arhanam Parigrahayarupi Padaravindam Upagamaya Bhava Sa Etat. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. After reaching the beach, Lord Râmacandra fasted for 3 days, awaiting the arrival of the ocean personified. When the ocean did not come, the Lord exhibited his pastimes of anger, and simply by his glancing over the ocean, all the living entities within it, including the crocodiles and sharks, were agitated by fear. Then the personified ocean fearfully approached Lord Râmacandra, taking all paraphernalia to worship him. Falling at the Lord's lotus feet, the personified ocean spoke as follows. So finally, the ocean came to Lord Râmacandra. That's what here in the translation is explaining. Back to you, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Mataji. So nice. All these are so very deep pastimes, actually. But Shukdev Goswami said, "Oh dear Parikshit, you have been hearing these pastimes from time immemorial, from very childhood. Even when you were in the womb of your mother, you have been hearing, because Mata Uttara also must be sharing these pastimes, and so must be the grandmother and the grandparents." So Lord Ram worshipped, Jaladevta for 3 days fasting, showing, like an ideal human being was trying to, but still, the ocean didn't give a passage. After who was that bird? Sampati. Yeah, Sampati told, and Hanuman went, all that was done. And then finally they had to kind of build a bridge. Now, how do they build a bridge over 100 yojanas? 800 miles is no easy joke, right? So Lord Ram basically fasted for 3 days to pacify the water god or Jal Devta, Varun Dev. But the ocean did not come. Then, very nice, Lord exhibited his pastimes of anger. It's an important point to note. How many of us exhibit our pastimes of anger? How many is raising hand? Are they pastimes of anger? Or anger makes us a time pass? Right? So we are succumbed by these modes, but the Lord is the master of all these modes. So sometimes he may get transcendentally angry. And simply by glancing, so the Lord could have, generally first the Lord, does the human way. But sometimes the Lord will show his bhagavata or his supremacy. So first he kind of, in a peaceful manner. Okay, you are fasting. Same Lord Ram worship also, Rameshwara has 2 meanings. And some people say, well, Shivji is the topmost because Lord Ram worshipped him. Right? Well, Lord Ram worshipped here the water god also. It doesn't mean that the water god is the topmost. Now we see here actually, just 2 verses before we read how Lord Shiva is basically always remembering the lotus feet of Lord Ram. And here, now when the water god came, when Lord just glanced by anger, just by Lord's glance, it was boiling, agitated. All the water species inside, sharks and fishes and crocodiles and whatnot, all the species. And Varun Dev came with a big Aarti plate. Okay, I'll do Chamar, I'll do Aarti, Lord has come, right? So the Lord, the Varun Dev personified, came falling at the Lord's feet. So basically, all these demigods, Indradev, Chandradev, Surya, etc., are basically servants of the Supreme Lord Ram. They realized, I was trying to test my Lord. He realized his position. Like Indra in the Govardhan Leela, same thing. He also came, did Abhishek with Surbhi Kund is there, Eravat Kund is there, Naval Kund, Apsara Kund. So many kunds you go, is still there in the Govardhan Parikrama Marg, Govind Kund. So, yeah. So then, let's see what this water god spoke. Yes, Avani.
Hare Krishna. Na tvam vayam jadadhiyo nu vedama bhuman kutastam adi purusham jagatam adi sham yat sat vata suragana rajasa prajesha manoscha bhuta pataya sa bhavan gunesha. Translation by Prabhupada Ki Jai. O all-pervading Supreme Person, we are all dull-minded and did not understand who you are. But now we understand that you are the Supreme Person, the Master of the entire universe, the unchanging and original personality of Godhead. The demigods are infatuated with the mode of goodness, the Prajapatis with the mode of passion, and the Lord of ghosts with the mode of ignorance. But you are the master of all these qualities. Purport. The word Jadadhiya refers to intelligence like that of an animal. A person with such intelligence cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Without being beaten, an animal cannot understand the purpose of a man. Similarly, those who are dull-minded cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but when punished severely by the modes of material nature, they begin to understand him. A Hindi poet has said, Dukha se sabahari bhaje, sukha se bhaje koi, sukha se agar hari bhaje, dukha ka tan se haya. When one is distressed, he goes to the church or temple to worship the Lord. But when opulent, he forgets the Lord. Therefore, punishment by the Lord through material nature is necessary in human society. For without it, men forget the supremacy of the Lord due to their dull, blunt intelligence. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Tachi. In Hindi, there is also thing, Lato ke bhut bato se nahi mante. It's quite applicable here. The point is that some people don't understand the peaceful talks. The Lord is peacefully telling, oh Samudra Dev, please give me the way. I've been fasting for you. Samudra Dev says, hey, I'm better. I'm the supreme. Why I should give way to you, ordinary person like all of you, monkeys and humans. And then the Lord showed him transcendental anger, and then he realized, came with the Arati plate, and he's saying this, okay? Samudra Devta is saying, we are dull-minded and do not understand. Maya javanika channam agya dokshajam avimna lakshase muda disha. We cannot see you, mudas. We are dull. Even Brahmaji said the same thing. Oh my Lord, I was mistaken. I could not really understand you. I thought I understand you, but just you were playing and having pranks with these Gopa boys. I thought you were an ordinary child and I got confused. Please forgive me. I am a foolish person. But you are the Supreme Lord. The demigods, we see infatuated with the modes of goodness and passion, Prajapatis, and ignorant. But the Lord is nirguna. Nirguna means has no material gunas, goodness, passion, or ignorance. He has now anger also is not in the mode of passion or ignorance. Our anger, we get angry because the modes cover us. Passion and ignorance covers us, and then we get angry or whatever emotions we exhibit. But Lord, uses or displays the pastimes of anger. That's what we read. The Lord exhibited the pastimes of anger, or the pastimes of separation, or the pastimes of being mad, unmada, or the pastimes of vilapa, lamentation, crying after his wife, like an ordinary person would cry if the wife is lost. But all this is transcendental. So, dukh se sab hari bhaje. Dukh mein simiran sab kare, sukh mein kare na koi. In sukha, people don't remember God. In distress, people remember God. Oh, God, please protect me. Please help me. I'm struggling. I'm suffering. Please, I should pass in the exam. Please, I should be healthy. Please, I should not get disease. Please, my daughter should get married, or my son should happen this. I should get a job, or something is not going right. Therefore, now we see in this COVID, actually, people are becoming more God conscious, right? People are becoming more God conscious because everyone has some fear. Because people don't understand the simple language. Vaishnavas are not God conscious in the time of COVID. Sukhe tako, dukhe tako, sada hari bole tako. Whether sukha or dukha, if one remembers Krishna, then there is no dukha. Dukha is basically, as Tasha Mataji was explaining the other day, ka means ether, du means bad environment. So basically, it's all in the air. It's all our perception. Sukha and dukha are relative or dvanda. So ka means ether. For a devotee, there is no dukha because he is connected to the source of all sukha, that is Krishna. Where there is Krishna, there is no anxiety, there is no fear. Everything is transcendental. So the point is that whether it's time of happiness or whether it's time of distress, because these are dvandas. All dvandas will come. Health and disease will come. Sukha and dukha will come. Wealth and poverty will come. Old and young age will come. Happy and sorrow times will come. And sometimes family will cooperate, sometimes it will not. Sometimes boss will cooperate, sometimes he will not, she will not. These are all dvandas. Rain will come and summers will come and winters will come. But a devotee his surrender is not subject to the condition that when sukha is there, I will worship. Some people say, well, right now I'm very, very busy. I don't have time for Krishna. When I'll get married, then I'll, this famous Kailash story. Some say, well, I don't have a job right now. When I get a job, then I'll do Krishna Bhakti. When I'll get kids, I'll do Bhakti. When I'll get grandkids, I'll do Bhakti. When I get great-grandkids, I'll do Bhakti. There is no such time. Some or the other upheaval will come and then go. Life will always be dvanda. Today one could be healthy, tomorrow one will be diseased. Today one could be rich, tomorrow one could be pauper. Today one could be beautiful, tomorrow one could not be beautiful. Today's one's family is very cooperative, tomorrow it may not be. But our surrender should be not based on all these parameters. Sukh se agar hari bhaje, dukh kaha se hoye? Agar jo sukh mein hari bhajta hai, that means if one remembers Krishna in all time, sukha or dukha, then there is no dukha in that person's life. That person is always happy because he's connected to the source of all happiness, that is Sri Râmacandra. Hare Kṛṣṇa. Any other comments, additions, questions before we stop today? It's a very nice prayer of Samudra Devta, so we can contemplate and remember this. We'll pause here. Unattached Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai.
Jai.
Râmacandra Bhagwan ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Samaveta. ki
Jai.
Rubyascha kripasindhubhya
Evcha patitanam bhavnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo.
Shri Krishna, thank you.
Hare Krishna.